Hey, happy Friday. You made it to the weekend. This is Jack Tubbs from the J Team at Realty One in Surprise, Arizona saying, hey, you made it to Friday. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. It's going to cool down this weekend, and it's also supposed to get some rain. I hope you have a chance to spend this with your friends, your family, and maybe even take some time up yourself to rest up from the busy work week that you just went through. I want to continue on and finish up today about what I've been talking about all week, and that is the importance of a home inspection. Why it should never be waived unless you're an investor and you're willing to take on any of the issues that might not be found unless you have a home inspection. Now, some of the reasons we've already talked about is A, when we're negotiating and we find issues, it gives you an out. If we find there's an issue with the home that is going to cost more than you're comfortable paying and the seller's willing to not pay or give you a discount that reflects the amount of money that it's going to take care to remediate that problem, then you can cancel the contract based on the home inspection. It's something that keeps you safe from buying something. It's protection from you because every purchase, when we buy residential real estate, is as is, period, unless it's a new build or unless the seller is willing to extend a warranty out to you. Every sale is as is. So we want to make sure that we have that inspection there to protect you. It's a negotiating tool because when we do find things, you know what? If we still really want the house, you love the location, you love the layout, you love the house itself, but it needs a new HVAC system, you know what? We can negotiate that to bring the price down to reflect the repair value or the replacement value of the HVAC system on the home. It's a safety concern. And this also goes along with another point. It also brings to light things that can be hidden or undiscovered. A, safety. B, if you have something that is not prevalently, that you don't see with the naked eye, that's not evident by just looking at the walls, you never know when you might have something like black mold growing in the walls, and it won't show until it's grown to a point where it truly could be a massive health hazard for you and your family. Also, other things come to light when we do home inspections too. Sometimes additions that were not permitted, that are illegal. Also, every once in a while, you'll find maybe they had a fire in the attic and they just put up new drywall and paint, and you wouldn't know unless somebody goes up into the attic and inspects and they see the damage left behind by the fire. I've seen it happen more than once where a fire was in the attic and new drywall and paint went up and nobody knew until somebody put an offer in, got the home inspector in there, and they saw the roof joists and the ceiling joists charred from a previous fire. So it keeps you safe. It's also make sure that you understand what's going on with the property. It also brings to light undiscovered things. It's a way for you to get out. It's a negotiating tool. It also lets you give you an idea of where things are at because most home inspectors can say, hey, your HVAC system's got about 5 years on it. So you know in about 5 years it's probably going to cost you somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 to get that replaced. A hot water heater could be on its last legs. All these other things. It gives you an idea. It gives you a forecast of costs to come. It also gives you an idea of how to protect your investment. When you know where things are at and you know how to insure it and you also know what needs to be done to repair it to preserve your investment, the home inspection will bring that to light. And one of the last things I wanted to talk to you about today about a home inspection is insurance. And one of the things I discovered in my 11 years of being a real estate agent and broker is that, you know what, if a home does not meet certain requirements, there are home insurance companies out there, there are insurers that will not insure property. And you won't find out unless you have a home inspection done. And sometimes insurers, depending on who they are, where your house is, a whole bunch of different factors, they may even require you to share a copy of the home inspection report with them so that they will insure the property. This is a huge thing because if you can't insure the property, and I'm sure you can find somebody who will, but what are they going to charge you? Because the insurers that won't insure you realize that there are probably high costs in somewhere in the future, and they don't want to have to pay for it, or there could be a structural issue, and they're not going to pay to insure a home with already issues that could prove to be structural, etc. Now, the last thing, and I always thought, I know I said the insurance was the last thing, it also helps with the appraisal. Because if you have an FHA or a VA appraisal, most of those appraisers are going to look at the dates that things were manufactured, like the HVAC system, the hot water heater, all the other mechanicals of the house and things that you're paying money for, they want to know the age of them, because they're going to want to know when they reach their operational obsolescence. And if they think it's only a couple of years away, that could drop that could lower your appraisal value. So having a home inspection can actually prepare you for that, especially if you're a seller. And one of the things that's been a new trend in our business now is that sellers are getting a pre-inspection done so that they can actually address any issues that any other inspector might find. But it also will prepare you that, hey, if we know that the HVAC system has probably only got a useful life of 2 to 3 years, you know what? An appraiser is going to look at that, and they probably will drop the value of the appraisal so much. And they're going to do that with the majority of the mechanical, the mechanics of the house, where the HVAC, any of the appliances they get left behind, especially built-ins, hot water heaters, all these pool pumps, pools themselves, all these different things they're going to take into account, because they're going to realize that the buyer may be able to have that swimming pool for 3 years before they've got to replace it, or a pool pump, or an HVAC system, or a hot water heater. All these mechanicals of the house and all these other things that definitely affect the value, sometimes they're going to take those into an appraisal consideration. Having an inspection done will let a seller know that, and also B, it will also prep the buyer to know what's coming in the appraisal, and that's also actually going to be another negotiating tool for them. So these are the reasons why we do not want to skip an appraisal. I mean, if you're an investor and you know how to fix all these things, and you have all the people and contractors at your disposal to be able to address things, that's fine. But for the average buyer, you know what? Do not. And I don't care how much you are encouraged by the seller, or if it's a foreclosure property, by the bank or the lien holder selling the property, to forego the home inspection so that it will take less time and you won't find those hidden defects in the home and all that other, because and they know that the transaction is going to move faster because you waived that home inspection. Don't do it. I know I've already told you in this series that I had a young man who decided to waive an appraisal. It cost him the amount to put in a new septic field, and it took the money to put in a new well at the home he bought. And he didn't have that money, so he had to dig, he had to scrounge, and he couldn't move into his home and live there for probably about 5 or 6 months after he closed on the property. Believe me, he was very upset, but he was advised, get the home inspection. But he felt that he was getting beat out on other properties in his price range, that this was the only way he was going to secure the property. And I at that time, I told him I didn't think it was worth the risk, but he decided to go through, and it cost him extra money and extra time before he could even enjoy his new home. So don't waive the home inspection. It's hugely important. Okay, if you have any questions about inspection issues or anything else about real estate, please don't hesitate to call. You can get a hold of me at 248-330-7972. And this is my direct dial, 248-330-7972. You can email me, jack@thejteam.house. Once again, that's jack@thejteam.house. Or you can call and talk to any of my team members at 623-252-4061. Once again, that's 623-252-4061. Hey, enjoy the cool weather we're going to have this weekend. I'll be seeing you Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Once again, this is Jack from the J Team at Realty One in Arizona, or Surprise, Arizona, saying God bless. Bye-bye.